Good morning and welcome once again to Daybreak Africa on KAFTAN television. My name is Miracle Odunayo.
And yes, my name is Ikhonede. Welcome once again to Daybreak Africa from our studio in those states, the Sunshine State
of the nation. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. It's Christmas, actually getting closer and closer and closer. That's what
Which one is closer and closer and closer? Like you are not bringing the festive vibes. What's going on?
I'm bringing the festive vibe the way I can bring it.
The way you can bring it.
And this is the best I'm trying to do.
Please, no bad energy this period.
No, there's no energy. There's energy. Like my kind of energy.
The kind of energy.
The kind of energy I've been running with the last 4 years now is just indifference. Good.
But I'm so excited about this festive period.
Yeah, you will be excited.
What do you mean by that?
You will definitely.
You should be excited too.
I'm excited because of the fact that the significance of Christmas in the actual sense. And many automatically knows the fact that Christmas itself is the season of love. It's the season where we come together to celebrate. Those also say that it's the birthday of Jesus Christ.
Says was it confirmed? It was not born on the 25th.
But then it's also a good thing to also attach a day to celebrate.
Very important.
Yes. According to the Christian religion, it says he came over to the world. That is God came as a man.
Yes,
to die for man, to become friends, to reconcile himself with man. So definitely this period is not a period of beef, it's not a period of hatred.
Show love.
It's not a period of oppression.
Just love only.
Love only. And from KAFTAN televisions, we are telling you
Merry Christmas.
In advance. Still, a lot of things are still happening in this country, and we are just looking at ways of just ensuring that a whole lot of things don't transpire. I was saying the Supreme Court yesterday affirming that the president's right to declare a state of emergency and remove state powers as at that time for that period of time is legal in the actual sense.
I remember we had a discussion here whether it is legal or not legal, but thank God that the Supreme Court is bringing to our notice that this is something that he can do as a president.
I'm not scared about the whole thing though, because any states, now, okay, Tinubu is, let's say, is a bit cerebral to some people, not cerebral to some people, but then at least, if I'm to comment on this, honestly, I think he plays good politics. So definitely, we might not see him try to abuse that power.
Let's just hope that it will not be abused. Because
my own fear is the next two, and the
next president,
and the next. Anyone can just. Since they said
I can do that. Any small problem like this, state of emergency.
But we'll look at it holistically today. I think we'll look at it holistically today.
Yeah, of course we will.
And I wouldn't want you to miss this edition of Daybreak Africa because it's going to be a very interesting discussion. So please stay with us. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back to the show. If you're just joining us, it's still Daybreak Africa, and yes, it's time to go straight into our discussions for today. In the month of March, something very sensitive happened within the country, Nigeria, in the sense that the president, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, declared a state of emergency in the state of, let me call it, we are not in Osho, so let me use the actual way, in Rivers State in the actual sense. And in doing that, he suspended the governor of the state, the deputy governor, as well as the House of Assembly, and instated a public administrator in the person of Ibokit Ibas, who happened to take the reins of the state for 6 months in the actual sense. It was lifted in the month of September. And we remember that immediately that happened, the Senate discussed it, they affirmed it. But some governors of the PDP took the case to court in the actual sense and asked questions that what actually gives the president the legality to actually take this move. But then, after months of back and forth, the Supreme Court, in a very unanimous decision, came out to say the president has the right to actually call for a state of emergency as well as remove elected officials at this particular, because he is the one who has the right to decide what's best as at that time to tackle the insecurity in that particular state. And we know we are in a state of heavy insecurity in the country, so we'll be looking at the pros and cons of these decisions and what is embedded in our constitution and what it means. Maybe the president, maybe next year, we might be saying, much of it in other states in Nigeria we don't know in the actual sense, but we'll look at it holistically today. And to discuss with us, we actually have in the house, our friend of the house is also an in-house analyst. Many of you know him as Bimbo Ogungbe. He's an in-house analyst. Welcome to the show, sir.
Welcome to the show, sir.
Good morning, Josh.
Good morning.
Good morning,
Yano.
Yano.
I know, right?
Yeah, Yano, straight up.
The Yoruba.
The Yoruba vibe to it, to the actual sense.
It's good to have you here on the show, sir.
Thank
Good
you,
morning.
thank you.
Yeah, good morning.
So let me ask, sir, immediately, when the story of the Supreme Court affirming the president's right to call for a state of emergency and even remove elected officials, suspend them for a time being, how did you feel about it? Because we know that this was the greatest conversation for the year, the most controversial in our books for the year 2025, that a president in Nigeria could remove a duly elected governor, at least for a period of time, then elect a public administrator to secure a particular state. And we saw how the back and forth is, but now the Supreme Court has affirmed it. How do you see their decision from the court?
The first thing that we cannot forget is that the state of emergency proclamation on Rivers State was not the first in the history of this country. We've had such in the past
Multiple
since
times,
1999, and not that alone. The removal of a governor, an elected governor, through the instrument of the state of emergency was not even the first as well. But there is one aspect of it that I loved the politicians of Nigerians, that they have really taken the bull by the horn, and that is the fact that they want clarity. Because in section 305 of the Nigerian Constitution, there are some aspects of that constitution that did not really address who is to be removed, who cannot be removed. That section only expresses that the president has the legal right to declare the state of emergency and transmit such declaration by the instrument of Gazette to the National Assemblies and the House of Representatives for them to pass it within a very short period of time. And the reasons why the president can do that was also stated in that section 305. That section 305 did not really enumerate who can be removed and who cannot be removed by virtue of listing. But the truth about it is that if you declare a state of emergency in a particular place, the truth about it is that you are removing the head of the government of that environment, and you are actually replacing it. Even though section 305 did not enumerate it that way, did not bring it to the fore that way. Yeah. That is the reason why the 10 PDP state governors went to court. And they did Nigerians a good thing for approaching the court, so that that aspect will be made clear. And thank God the Supreme Court has actually did the justice on it. Because the truth about it is that when you declare a state of emergency, the fact remains that there is need to set aside the person or persons at the helms of affair, at the helms in that place, and you bring in another person so as to make sure things are going on well. A period of time, which it can lapse, which it can be,
can elapse another, temporary.
Temporary or whatever. So that aspect that the 10 governors of the PDP took to court is what the Supreme Court has shed more light into. And thank God that that has been done. The Supreme Court has now come out to tell us that at the declaration of a state of emergency, the president did not just have the legal right to proclaim it, but he also has the right to remove elected officers and officials. He has the right to remove them and bring in whosoever that will do the work, that will make sure things are going on well. And Nigerians should not forget one thing. There is level of authority in governance. There's no way, because somebody is elected as a governor, we cannot equate his level of authority to that of a president. It's not going to happen in any Senate climb, even from anywhere in the world. There's nowhere the authority of a governor can supersede that of a president. However, there may be some different class of authorities and offices in which each of them can operate at parallel. But that does not really interpret
that they are equated at the same level.
Equated. No, it's not possible. So what we need to understand is that what the Constitution of this country, Nigeria, have put in place, the Supreme Court has shed more light into it. And I believe by this declaration of the Supreme Court, I'm convincingly sure that there's not going to be any instance in which there will be any state of emergency and some people will still be feeling as if the president has not done what is right. Let us not forget the truth, the fact that during the declaration, there are steps to be taken.
True, like
you have to proclaim it. You have to set it up in an official gazette. You have to transmit the gazette to the National Assembly and House of Representatives for them to. At that point, we need to understand that when it gets to that place, it is no longer in the hand of the president anymore. If the majority of that assembly excuse me, if the majority of that assembly declined, then it is no longer the president's authority anymore. It is the authority of the representatives of the people. So we also need to understand that when a president declares a state of emergency and set it up in an official gazette, transmit it to the National Assembly and House of Rep, and the majority of this house approves it, it is not the president anymore. It is the people. It is the people that approves it. Because if the representatives of the people in the National Assembly and the House of Representatives says no,
then definitely no.
Then that means it cannot fly.
Because they are the ones that can.
Because they are the ones that will say no, and they are the ones that will say yes. So we need to understand that the Constitution of our country, Nigeria, has balanced all these things. Yes, I love the way our politicians do their things, even though at times we may see them to be either overzealous or they want to be scooping what is not necessary. However, their act of politicking always, in some instances, assist us to clear some level of ambiguity that may arise in any form of procedure or in any situation or scenario that we may be going through in this country. So, at the instance of what the Supreme Court has declared, I'm very sure that the issue of state of emergency has come to stay, and there is now more light thrown into it.
All right, so looking at the fact that Nigeria is a democratic country, don't you feel like this particular ruling can actually affect the way we see democracy, or even affect democracy at large in Nigeria? Because any elected governor can just be suspended or removed from the position.
I will want to say something. We are brilliant people in this country. Nigeria is a class of brilliant and excellent set of human beings. Concerning that type of a thing, the truth about it is that it's going to be very, very difficult for any president to go on that kind of a mission, even as the case is now. The reason why I say so is because it's going to be very obvious. If any president is going on that kind of a mission to find a way of causing any
mishap within the state,
mishap in a state, or creating any form of trouble all in the name that you want to
remove the governor.
I don't think it's going to happen. The reason why I'm actually saying this is because our democracy is getting stronger year in, year out. Our democracy is getting stronger. And the people that are playing politics in Nigeria, they are enriching themselves in their minds, their capabilities. They are equipping themselves so much, so well that it's only very few of them that can fall a prey. Except for any of them that, for one reason or the other, they were not really prepared, but they find themselves in politics. Just like what happened to the governor of Rivers State himself. He was not a politician. But if he were to be a politician,
he would have gotten to that level.
That thing would not have happened. Because he would have looked at the politicking part of it and he would have used politics to solve his problem. If it is to say, okay, if this is what you want me to do, I will do it. In fact, he wouldn't have allowed such to happen in his first tenure.
Just normal negotiation.
He will just do all that he feels he should do to keep his first tenure. Then by the time he comes in
the second
tenure, then he will now be making his principal to know that, me too, I'm not a small boy anymore. You understand? Some did it in Abia. They did it for Kalu. In Delta, they did it for Ibori. You know, that is because those ones, they are politicians. They are politicians. So all our politicians are really, really working hard to enrich their own capabilities, their knowledge about politics and what it takes to really be in this democratic race that we are doing in Nigeria. Currently, this democracy is different to the democracy of the Second Republic. Completely, it's different. Now, it's a real game of the brain and the mind.
So are you saying that we should be rest assured that nothing is going to tamper with our democracy currently?
As it is for now, our democracy has come to stay. The only thing that I can say that may not likely be something that we have planned or that we prepared for is some kind of eventualities. And those eventualities are very, very slim. Take, for instance, when in the era of late President Muhammadu Buhari, when he was sick, you can see such eventualities that were rearing its ugly head during that time. The president wants to go for foreign trip concerning his health. He cannot, transmit power to the vice president, and then the House of Assembly refused to do what they are supposed to do, so that the vice president can actually do what his job is supposed to be. And at a particular time, the president transmitted power to the vice. The vice did some work before the president came. When the president came, he reversed all those decisions. So those are things that are real tests in our democratic dispensation for now. But I can also tell you that our politicians have studied all those scenarios and they have come up with the needed, necessary, important steps to be taken to avoid such things. Because such things are democratic embarrassment for them as politicians. You as the vice president, it's going to be a democratic embarrassment for you to take a decision for your boss to come and reverse it. So nobody will want to go in that line anymore. And no president will want to do what will make the whole country to see him as somebody who is not leadership matured enough. Because there are some things somebody will do that will make everybody to see him that he's not mature enough as a leader. That those are the things that can still test our democratic process as far as Nigeria is concerned. But I can assure you that majority of our politicians, they are really working hard to make sure that they don't fall short
of such kind
of things, because it will embarrass them.
Total embarrassment.
Look at the River State governor. The whole country were behind him. They should not be removed. It's unconstitutional. It's this, it's that. He too was trying to do the best he can to hold sway. But the truth about it is that he was removed because the Constitution gives the power to the president to remove him. And he was removed. And when he was removed, in order for him to make sure that he stay at peace, he had to go and sit down quietly somewhere. Because when he has been removed, there are a lot of things that he will not have access to. And that make him to look a little close to be an ordinary River State indigene.
Member, yeah.
So you can imagine. So all those things, they are pointers to the fact that take note of, be very, very sure and conversant of what your roles are. Because if you don't know, you see, like I said, there are a lot of things that in this dispensation, we have seen so many things that have tested our democracy. Even in the National Assembly itself. Look at the Natasha case.
Natasha Akpoti versus
the Senate President. Nobody is saying this person is doing the right thing or that one is not doing the right thing. But we are saying that these are tests of democracy. What anybody is saying is that this is the rule we use in this place. You did not know it, and you are a senator.
Which is important for
you to be. You did not know it, and you are a senator. It's an embarrassment to her. As far as she is concerned, you don't know the rules of the house, and you are a senator in the house. It's a complete democratic embarrassment for her. So all those things, no politician is going to allow those things to happen to them anymore. So for you to be a governor of a state, you are the chief security officer, you are the chief financial officer, you are the chief this, you are the chief that, and you want to sit down and you want to allow something to happen that will now create democratic embarrassment for you. No governor will want to allow that to happen. That is why you see many governors doing some things that we say, why is this person, why is this one going this way? Why is that one going that way? Why is this one going to, why is everybody coming to this? This is because they don't want anything that will create unnecessary, making them uncomfortable or making them to look as if they don't know what they are going to do.
Let's talk a bit, sir, about, sorry to actually consider, let's talk a bit about the powers of the presidency. To a very large extent, many had complained about, some will say the president doesn't have as much power as possible. Surely in President Buhari's tenure, late President Buhari's tenure, surely at the time when Buhari was talking about creating a financially autonomous state House of Assembly and financially autonomous state judiciary. That was Executive Order 10. He was the one that even started the place of trying to ensure that local governments were financially independent from the state governors and all that. We saw President Tinubu in the actual sense bring that to order. Though we know that some states governors are still sabotaging that particular move, even today, even though the Supreme Court has given the clarity to it and co. Now, with this, are we now seeing a point where the president himself has gotten too powerful in this kind of federal system that we are working with, to a point that he can have veto over some issues? And like you said earlier, the presidents and the governors, we can't equate them totally. The president will always be at the ends of the field. Now, why I'm asking this, because with this, it shows that even if we are to talk about insecurities in Nigeria, we can easily put all the blames on the president. That is to say, there are some states that people thought that had more insecurity issues than Rivers State. Why didn't you declare a state of emergency on those states? Why was it Rivers State of all states who did, compared to some states, like we saw what happened in Plateau State, in Benue State, and multiple states in the north? Why not those states? Why Rivers? Now, with this, don't you think the powers are very high enough that you can declare it in order of those states and tackle the insecurities like you're supposed to tackle at this particular time?
When it comes to issue of insecurity, there are different kinds of insecurity.
Okay.
There is insecurity of life and property. There is economic economy insecurity. The River State problem is economy insecurity. That place is the pot of soup. Nobody can sit down and afford it to open his eyes wide and allow it to go broken. You will be the most foolish president in the whole world. If you open your eyes wide and you allow that pot of food to go broken. No president can allow that. Nigeria relies on the barrels of oil
that comes out from
that place on daily basis, of which we are using, if not up to 16% of what comes out of our barrels of oil per day to service debt, to pay for services that we have collected the money. Now, you will now open your eyes wide as a president and allow that place to go into an economic insecurity. No president can afford that. Come back to other places that we have those other type of insecurity, lives and property. Some of these cases, the report from the Department of State Security has showed clearly the causes of those type of insecurity and the solutions to them. Some of these solutions has been implemented, but some people made themselves like a clog in the wheel of progress of that solution. We need to buy arms and fought a problem we created. They released money to buy arms. Arms did not come in. When arms came in, it fell into wrong hands. Who are those people in charge of that? Is that the president?
Definitely not.
I'll give you a story. Chad, their president was a general. He used to be in the army. Yes, we used to be in the army. Because of the insecurity in Chad, he led them to the war front to face the terrorists. And for one reason or the other, he got shot and he was killed. That is a one-time general who became a president because of his passion to get rid of terrorism. He went to war against terrorists, was shot, got killed. They made, I think, his son to take over from him. Do we have such people that have such courage as our president? Even when they are general. These are people that sit down in office and they receive signal from the hot zone. Should we engage? They don't respond. Should we engage? They don't respond. Should we engage? They don't respond.
Sometimes they are not aware.
Only on the fourth day for Nigerian helicopter to come and be killing Nigerian soldiers. That was what led to the 22 soldiers mutiny in the regime of Goodluck Jonathan. Because the helicopter that came shooting at them in Yobe was a Nigerian helicopter, a Nigerian military helicopter. Those kind of insecurity, they are man-made. They are man-made. And such kind of insecurity, they have given all needed findings, research, investigations, write-up on it. And the presidency knew all these things. That is why when President Tinubu came on board, there were 3 consecutive kidnaps in Kaduna. Straight. And the only thing he told them is they should look inward and solve their problem.
Exactly.
They were shocked. Governor Basani was shocked. And that is what made that guy to run crazy and started doing everything
calling
they could.
state factors to
yes,
safety.
Calling Muslim and Christian together for meeting, which some people hate so much, just to make sure, because that is the solution to the problem. It is not the president that will come and solve the killing.
It's an inward problem.
Benue State has been in problem as far back as that I can remember, as far back as a little before 1999.
Yeah, I used to remember those. Historically, many of the tribes, they used to have those kind of issues.
You see.
But we'll get there. We'll get to that story, the actual story, because I think that part of history is very interesting.
So when you talk about the president declaring emergency in a particular place and not in a particular place, it is a matter of what caused the emergency. What caused the insecurity?
Okay.
And what level of insecurity are we talking about? Is it the insecurity that is man-made? Or is it the insecurity that is going to affect everybody? Or insecurity that this man in his own backyard is causing insecurity in his own backyard? And we are telling him, stop this thing you are doing in your backyard. And he refused to listen. But somebody wants to cause insecurity in his own backyard that will affect the whole town. So that is why there is difference in the level of insecurity that can lead to the declaration of state of emergency.
All right, before we just move on, it's time for us to go for Go Start, where we get to learn how to start up our own business. So do stay with us, we'll be right back.
All right, welcome back to the show. Just join us, it's still Daybreak Africa, and I hope you enjoyed Go Start. I've told you time and time again, next year you will pay. I wanted to say tithes. This one is higher than tithes. You will pay tax. You pay tithes in church. You pay tax for the federal government.
Exactly.
So that's two-factor authentication. You give one to the government. You give one to God. But then at the end of the day, you have to increase your streams of income. And Go Start brings you teachings on this at all time. And though the best part of Go Start is if you do according to what you are taught. So please do something with what you've learned from Go Start. Well, we've been looking at the issue of the state of emergency and the fact that the Supreme Court actually affirms the presidential rights to ensure that this actually holds in state of insecurity. And we've been discussing with Bimbo Ogungbe, who has been bringing us true perspective with some of those rulings. And I remember before we went on a short break, you talked about kinds of insecurities that can lead to the state of emergency, because I was trying to ask about the fact that looking at the presidential powers and with what the Supreme Court has actually confirmed, don't you think that there are some states that you should also declare it upon and it can work out? Now, you gave examples of some of the insecurities that actually happened is an internal problem, but there are some like terrorism in certain states. There are some like banditry in certain states that sometimes it's not totally something that could be called extremely internal. Some of them just need, like, everybody stay indoor in curfew. We need to get out these people. Don't you think, that's what I was trying to say, that you should be able to attend to insecurities like that too as well, because by your power you can just easily ensure that the army gets in and do whatever they have to do at this particular time. With the Supreme Court even affirming that you can declare a state of emergency and just work it out yourself.
Just like I've said, different kinds of situation can lead to state of emergency. But you have every president with their own focus. The focus of the man at the helms in this our country now is more income, more projects, more development, more money. That is his concern. His second concern, which happens to be safety of life and property, is not his primary concern, because it is supposed to be a collaborative effort. The federal, the state, and the people. Let's go to those areas you are asking, why is the president not declaring state of emergency? Kaduna, Borno, Zamfara, Yobe. Where again?
I think Kano is still a bit fine.
The question I will ask, why is Kano not experiencing what Kaduna is experiencing, what Borno is experiencing, what Zamfara is experiencing?
Lighter now.
Why is Kano not experiencing such? Like I told you, the Department of State Security has their report on all these things. And these reports are right on the desk of the people that they knew what is going on. They read it, they knew what is going on. Zamfara has gold. Fine. Borno has
precious
stones, and the one they refer to as this for lithium. And all these things, some people are using terrorism to create what you call a decoy for government. And unfortunately, you find people who are community leaders behind all these kind of things. And you now want me to come and put my leg inside it, your internal problem. Like I gave you the instance of Benue State, that their crisis dates back before 1999. They have produced, at least we can count 4 different governors in that state, and that problem remains there till as we are sitting down here talking. The problem is still there, and they have produced 4 different governors. And these governors, they have been representative of people in the House of Representatives and at the Senate. An indigene of that state was a Senate president for
the longest period.
8 years. And you have an indigene of that state as the secretary to the federal government. And you are asking, why is there trouble in that state? Who knows better? Is it the president or those people? You see, that is why when you are telling a boy or a child, this child, don't kill me, this, oh my ma pa me, oh my ma pa me.
A time will come.
A time will come, you say, this child, you will kill yourself. No, Yoruba has a way of turning it out. This child, you will kill yourself. That is, oh my ma parai. But the real interpretation is that this child, you will kill yourself. That is what is going on in some of these states. The Chibok, 300 and something female students, girls, went away. 32 million US dollars from Abacha's loot in Australia was used to recover 109 of them. Many were gone till today. They became wife to those people that took them away. From there, Dapchi own happened because the noise was much. Whether by payment, whether by negotiation, they had to clear all the road for them to bring them back without any road block, and for them to go back. On one ground, all of you must change your religion, except for one girl. We said it's not changing. Up to today, after that, recently, we are not talking of Kefi, we're talking of Niger, Kwara. The truth about it is that all these things, they were being done, and they were being perpetrated because the people that had hand in it, they are not hidden to the government. No, at all.
They are not hidden. The government actually knows them.
Government, like I said, the security report from the DSS has all these things. The question is, if I want to come and fight the head of a house, how will I tell his children that your father is bad? And they will believe me.
Because they see their father as a good father, automatically.
The best father.
Baba to Dani, Baba me. How can you now say my father is bad? To the point that you now want to come and fight my father in our own house. All right, since I can't do that, no problem. Let's keep looking at it, how it's going to end. Let's keep looking at it. That is why we are seeing how it's going. They are mining gold in Zamfara. Nothing is going to government purse.
Which is supposed to be going to the government's purse.
A senator, Adams Oshiomhole, said it on the floor of Senate that when they mine this gold, they bring helicopter to come and pick up this gold. Helicopter is not Lexus RS350.
It's something that flies in the air. That
And it's neither a Mercedes AMG. It flies in the air to come and collect gold, and they go in this same country. That cannot happen except some people have a very, very deep involvement in that community. It can't happen. I'll give you a small story. In the days of Liberia, the days of Samuel Doe, when the issue started, the quarrel started, Johnson started his own, Taylor started his own, and they started fighting. Eventually, at the world gold market, they had to put a law. Nobody should buy gold from Liberia again. Because they discovered that is the major reason why killing and fighting is going on. They have to place a ban on purchase of gold from Liberia, just to use that as a means of cutting down that crisis. The truth about it, our big father who went to heaven and always left money for us to spend, told us that if there is a crisis
that lasts 48 hours.
That lasts for 48 hours. He said, definitely, people that are involved in it, they are the people that are in charge of that environment. So, what are we waiting for? Brother Trump said that if we don't take care of this problem, if we come and take care of it for us, then we started tightening our belts now, as if we don't know where Boko Haram people were before. Isn't it?
Perhaps we knew where they used to, where they are.
The truth about it is that the reports are there. The people. I also had this one to eat. Before this present administration, we heard of Gumi, who we always go and discuss with
the bandits and the kidnappers,
and come and tell us how much they will pay and persuade us to pay them. We have not been hearing from him for quite a while now.
No, I'll be speaking. I was about entering an issue around that, because I was actually trying to ask, because if I was trying to get what you were saying consistently, it shows three things. One, many of our insecurities are internal crises. One. Number two, many of our people don't really see the reasons why. And it makes me imagine one thing. I'm just imagining the case of if the president declares a state of emergency in some certain states in the north. The people will think he's witch hunting the particular states because they feel their leaders there are doing the right thing in the actual which is true. So they also pander with their oppressors. And the number three part of it is the fact that to a very large extent, unless international involvement, many of our crises might not end. So even though the presidency has the powers towards it, his hands are tied.
If at the wake of this administration, I think in 2 weeks, 3 kidnaps incidents in Kaduna.
This year is even very peculiar.
And everybody was shocked when the president says that they should look into their problems by themselves. The governor was very, very sad because he never expected that kind of a statement. But the governor stood up and took the bull by the horn. As it is today now, when was the last time you heard of it that they have packed children away in Kaduna?
Well, it's not that popular anymore. It's not that popular anymore.
Somewhere in Osun State, two communities were having one trouble,
slight clash.
The governor went there and said, if I hear anything, you this Oba, both of you, not only will you lose your crown, you will go to jail without being tried. That is how the whole thing ended. Everything finished like that. You see, what we are saying is, if you now say, we bought guns, we bought this one, we bought that one, yet, when we are doing meeting that, they are here, we will go there tomorrow morning, and tomorrow morning as we are preparing to go there, we have heard that they have left the place, they have gone to that place.
Definitely one of us among here.
It's telling them something.
Is that the kind of place you want somebody to come and put his leg?
No. About the place of check and balances with this whole thing, because we know that anybody, of course, can make mistakes. And I just want you to, because it feels like if this thing continues, it might get to a point that, I don't know why I'm having this kind of feeling that, so it gets to a point that this might be misuse or abuse. So don't you feel like the people in charge should do something about where the checks are coming in, the balances are there, then you don't have to do this, you don't have to do that, then this should be the rules and all of that.
I think you even had to watch it said. I wanted to ask a question too as well, because I saw two moves that happened in the last 2 weeks. Governors of regions went to meet. Funny enough, the South is not experiencing as much insecurities as the North. But they seem to be the one taking giant steps towards insecurities. We already talked about arms procurement. They've talked about getting a trust fund for their security outfits in the South.
Even technology.
Now, sharing technology, sharing intelligence, they've been talking about it. From the North, it seems...
Nothing. We are not hearing anything.
No,
nothing much.
We had one, but it's not looking as if something standard. I was even expecting that if an Amoteku could come to the Southwest that was experiencing less insecurities, unlike the North should have had their own security outfits, multiples by now. Because Isba is not really security oriented. Isba is more of religious laws and all that, the Sharia upholding and the other thing. But why is it that this disparity is there to a point that, because Tinubu is a politician, maybe that is why he hasn't called for the emergency rule on those states. If a new guy gets there, knowing what this state of emergency can do and what the Supreme Court have said yesterday, definitely he can just go ahead and just begin to declare state of emergency.
Exactly. So the National Assembly should do something about it.
There is one truth. Just as the Southwest governors come together, the 19 state governors of the North, they had their meetings. And in their resolution, they are asking Mr. President to place a 6-month ban on mining. Because they want to be sincere with themselves now.
Which
the question is, when has mining started? Who are protecting the miners? Who are gaining from the mining? How much is government getting? And so on and so forth. But now they are saying that they want the federal government to place a 6-month ban on mining. And that each state is willing to drop 1 billion naira each from their monthly allocation for federal government as their contribution for the procurement of arms to fight terrorists. Now, that is what they have come up with, the 19 state northern governors. That is what they have come up with. And I commended that effort. But I would rather say this. Why wait till this time? For them to voice out what is causing the major reason why people came from outside into their soil and are causing trouble, which is the mining. The mining is the reason why the outsiders came in. And they were now using some decoy, the kidnapping, banditry, this, that, to distract our security agency. The security agency, they knew this. So Sincerely. They know that all those banditry, they are just a decoy. They knew quite well what they are doing, but they are waiting for what the instruction they will be given. Nigerian armed forces, they are the best in Africa, not West Africa. Africa. Check their records. Anywhere they send them to.
It's very
anywhere.
Effective. Extremely effective.
Very effective. But something is holding them back here.
Politics.
And what is holding them back here is simple. Ẹyẹlé ó ti dàpọ̀ mọ́ adìyẹ. The pigeon is now mixed with the fowl.
With fowls, yeah.
So if you want to sort them out, you have to be careful. But unfortunately, rather than for the fowl to do what the pigeon cannot do, if the fowl can bow itself down to the ground, you know, fowl can sit down, the pigeon cannot do that. So if the fowl can sit down on the ground, then it will be known that these ones that are walking,
standing, they
are the pigeons. But àwọn ọmọ ilé, the owners of the land, they are not ready to play the fowl. They are not ready to bow for government to be able to identify the pigeons. That is the problem. That is why when we said they are here this afternoon, we are coming tomorrow morning. Before you pull yourself together tomorrow morning, you have heard that they are, you now see they are not there again. They are there. That is what makes the Nigerian armed forces, the Air Force, whenever they said they have gone to mix with the people, they say, all right, no problem. They are the ones that allow them to mix with them. We cannot be wasting our time because they are preparing for another dangerous thing to happen. So at times they will just choose to do their work. It's called colossal damage. Nobody likes that. But at times it happens.
Gets to that point.
It gets to that point. So nobody is saying it's good. But the truth about it is at times it gets to that point. Because our Lofa, the owners of the house, they are the ones that caused it. How can you be harboring people that doesn't mean well for you?
And you harbored them and made them stay.
For what? Even to the point that they are endangering the success, the future of your children. They will just pack them as if they are packing Odunayo, as if they are packing chicks.
And just pack them,
and go on motorcycle. I mean, who does that? Is that done in Senegal or in Guinea-Bissau or in Gambia? Is it done there? Is it done like that in that place? Where they are even, that is their own house. It's not done. Then why is it done in here? What for? It is the owner of the house that caused it. So that is why at times, if you want to declare state of emergency in such house, the children of those houses will not agree with you. Then
if you declare it, they will think you are
they won't agree with you. They will not. And do you know, before you know it, by the time the father of the house talk to his children in the language they understand, then they will start, you become their enemy. And before we know it, they will be saying things that, look at the riot that came up the other time, that they were hosting a Russia flag on Nigerian soil. Umbonotiri
does that.
Maybe they said they did not go to school. How did they know the color of Russia flag? How did they know that this is the flag that we should be holding now? Who told them? Where did they get it from? Who made it? That they just had it just as much as that. And they already started hosting it in their houses on their street. Who told them? Do you think they are foolish to that extent that they don't know that this is not the flag of our country? But they are holding it. They are hosting it. That is the point. So if you say you want to declare a state of emergency on that kind of a place, you will just become their enemy.
And before you know what happens.
And before you know what happened, any other thing can happen from there. Yes, that is the truth. Any other thing can happen from there. Because occasionally, when you are in an environment and it seems not to be enlightened, there is nothing you can do. You just need to leave them in that state.
To just be...
Just leave them in that state, because they are the ones that choose not to be enlightened. In the days of Jonathan Ebele Goodluck, he built schools for them. They never go there. Their leaders did not tell them to go there. It is that time they now said book is bad.
That's their ram.
Book is bad. It is that time they are saying that. Can you imagine? Now, is it that kind of person you now want to declare state of emergency on his state? He will just tell his children, see, they hate your father, and I don't know what I did for them. And the children will get angry because they lack knowledge. They are not enlightened, and they don't want to be. They don't want to be. If they want to be, they should look at every other place in Nigeria that are doing well. Why are they doing well? Why are we not doing well?
Even at their counterparts around countries. Because one of the things someone, I think that was Samson, said on this set was that even if we talk about Christianity, Islam, because he castigated both religions, that if you go out of Nigeria, you see other countries do those religions and they don't practice the way we practice and they are prospering.
Yes, now.
You don't see some tithings and offerings in Europe, and Europe is great. They don't pray for every problem. Even Israel defended themselves with guns, but the African will want to pray. And they talked about even jihad too. So Saudi Arabia is the hub of Islam.
Yes,
Qatar is the hub of Islam. They don't do jihad anymore. Look at the structures they are building in those places. Look at the way they are
see the Caliph, the Dubai, the United Arab Emirates, the Qatar. Look at all those countries how they are developing. They take their children from here to Sudan to go and study whatever they want to go to. Some of their leaders go to Egypt to go and study whatever they want to study. The question is, do they come back and tell all these ones that we are talking about that you two, this school here, go there? Do they tell them?
The children of their wealthy are well educated.
But the question now is, what is the way forward of all this problem? Because it's not really encouraging again. What is the way forward? What should we do as a nation, as individual? Because the thing still boils down back to our society, our small community now. So what do we have to do?
Let me add this to it, because I'm sorry, because I know that this will be the last question we'll be asking, because definitely our time is fast spent. Because Christopher Musa, the current defense minister, once suggested, and is still furthering on it, placing walls around the borders of Nigeria. And one heavy conversation right now is state policing. How do you see that to curb these issues of insecurities, especially whether the man-made or
private investigator or whatever?
There is no amount of what you can tell somebody who is not willing to do what is right, except if a sheer spiritual or God intervention that person now decides to change his mind. Before this time, our borders had been porous.
Very porous.
Very porous. And now that it's become very, 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 very porous.
That's extreme.
The question now is, we did not invite invaders into our country that time. We did not invite hoodlums to come into our country that time. And we did not invite terrorism and terrorists into our country that time. But that time, our borders had been porous. In those days when we have the one we call religious crisis, the Maitasin, late President Muhammadu Buhari was a lieutenant colonel in the army. And he was the governor in Borno now Borno State. He pursued them till when they get to Chad. There was no border.
But he was able to do
that effectively. That time. The question is, Bikule Opani, today Oto, people inside are the ones that are bringing the deadly things from outside to come in. So whether you build walls all over, they will surely find a way and bring them in. But the way out, like Iyanu have asked, is this. Let us bring their conscience that seems dead. Let's find out how dead those consciences are.
And revive them.
By allowing them to use their eyes to be seeing these things that they are seeing now. Their children are being packed away. Their girls became mothers at 14 years old. Their wives killed, turned to suicide bombers. I don't know. You can imagine. They are using their own eyes to see it now. Just like Benue people are using their own eyes to see. Yes, I keep saying it. I don't know what the Benue leaders want to come and tell somebody like me. Because I see them as group of people who came out from a state, but who doesn't want to belong to that state. But they came out from there. But they don't want to belong there. Because if they want to belong there, all of them that has been governor in that state, they will not open their eyes wide. And what is happening in that state is still happening.
They are so lucky. All of them are still alive. Akume.
I just told you, let us allow them to be using their eyes to be seeing what they cost. That's what I'm saying. One fojú ara wọn rí. They are seeing it with their own two eyes. Right in their presence while they are alive. One fojú ara wọn rí. Into forward, that's what they have used their hand to cause. Wọ́n pe ikú ìta wá kó wá pa àwọn àyàn nínú ilé wọn. And they are using their eyes to see it. Before Chibok incident came, reports said it. This thing may likely happen. It happened. Before Dapchi matter came,
intelligence came.
That of Kebbi.
There was an intelligence report.
The Niger own.
There was an intelligence report also.
Kí lẹ tún fẹ́ ká ṣe? What do you want Afaropale ìtàlẹ̀ tó ń jẹ ni? What do you want us to do? We have did all the precautionary things to get you alert
of what is about
to happen. Yet, you still allowed it to happen. What do you want to gain from all this? And we are not saying that a president should now go and declare a state of emergency in Kaduna because of what? The question is, why should he declare the state of emergency in Kaduna? Is it the oil well in Kaduna that want to get disrupted? What are we saying? And it doesn't concern me when Iyadele died. There is no oil there because it is the oil that all the 37 states
feast from. But because somebody is there mining gold, and he now wants to use the fact that he's mining gold, he doesn't want me to get 10 kobo that I should get. He now wants to be using on useless things to be distracting me. I could need. Let him take it over.
So that is the truth. And I always say to every tribe in Nigeria,
actually,
God give them special gifts.
We have 30 seconds, so we have.
So if all of them can use the gifts that God has given to them as a tribe that God put together as Nigeria, we will not be having this type of problem. Maybe they are the one that said, let federal government ban mining. Nobody taught them. Nobody canvassed for it.
Something happened to that level.
Something happened to that point. And they said that they, on monthly basis, will be contributing 1 billion to the federal purse to fight terrorism. That solution will come. We don't need to be worrying ourselves. That's it.
Well, thanks so much.
Thank you so very much.
Really
Thank you, sir.
This discussion with you, even though the trajectory is one that, well, it's also a time to reflect. We are gradually getting to the end of the year, so definitely it's a time to reflect. This period, many will be doing their resolutions actually. So, like you said, many of our leaders also should sit and do their resolutions. Do you want to continue like this till next year? It's getting out of hand. I don't expect the presidents to do it because definitely politically, it's a very risky game to take in the actual sense.
Yes.
But then, thanks so much, sir, for being a part of this. Really appreciate it. I hope that the results changes actually gets to the States. But then it's time to take sport. After sport, we come back on Daybreak Africa. And then we say our goodbye. So please stay with us. We'll be right back.
Welcome back from that break, and I hope you guys enjoyed the show. But before we just round off the whole thing from the discussion that we had earlier, honestly, it was a lengthy discussion that we had with Bimbo, and it was something that, well, I have my reservations and I have my worries at the end of the day, but I just hope that this will not be abused.
Well, I hope it won't be abused, but then, like you said, you can't equate the powers of the presidency with that of the governors. There should be a point where, as a president, you should be able to take decisions that can affect states to a point that even when you say in the case of insecurity like this.
Exactly, insecurity.
Then, like Bimbo said at the end of the day, one of the things he said was, there are just ways about it. We practice democratic government. Now, if we were practicing dictatorship now, it would have been easier for President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to just declare it in some states and ensure to end insecurities and go. But then the truth is, at the end of the day, that due to the fact that we are democratic, one day the emergency rule will elapse. And once it elapses, it's going to get to a point where now it's now time to play politics. And when it's time to play politics, they will ensure that they remind you of that which you did. Exactly. So definitely any government that comes into Nigeria, I will want to declare a state of emergency, must also be politically savvy enough to know that this thing could affect me in the long run. Because some of these insecurities, like he rightly said, is not something that you can attend to without looking at the internal factors in those states. Look at some states, like he talked about Benue, he talked about Plateau State, we talked about some states in the north. Some of the things that happens there, we accepted it for ourselves. Look at the southeast too as well to a very large extent, and the issues of Nnamdi Kanu and how the IPOB has been rampaging. Till today, not many of my friends from the southeast has gone home for the Christmas celebrations. And you know that a little over 3-4 years ago, backwards, every December, by today, I don't think I would say any of my friends, they would have been on their way on the bus to a very large extent, and boom, we are good to go. One of the things I discovered that in the southwest, we never really permitted someone like Sunday Igboho to take that route, in the sense that anyone should just, no, you don't do that. There are ways to go about things. No matter your grievances, there are ways you go about it. So definitely to an extent, one, some of our problems security-wise are internal, and anyone that's going to play the card of the emergency rule, we know you have to come from the point of democracy. And like he said rightfully, it doesn't give the president an absolute power too.
Exactly.
No matter what you do, there are official procedures.
Checks and balances,
the gazettes there to the National Assembly, and the National Assembly says no is no. And if you go against the National Assembly, well, you yourself you get the consequences. They will just come and say, it seems this guy doesn't want to hear what. Let's call for an impeachment. And once they impeach you, bro, you are good to go. So definitely we need to just know how and understand how it plays out. But it's good to actually say that the Supreme Court actually interpreted that particular law. So legal 2025 know it that the president can call for an emergency rule. He can call for a state of emergency. He can remove the state factors when that thing happens, and then place an administrator in charge of your state.
Exactly.
So definitely it's also a call to all state leaders to as well to do all they can to secure your state, ensure your state is safe.
It's secured,
secure. But then it's time to say our goodbyes on Daybreak Africa for today, and yes, we'll see tomorrow on Daybreak Africa. I'll leave you to enjoy the day, but please ensure that you follow Daybreak Africa tomorrow. My name still remains Ikhonede.
And my name is Miracle Odunayo. Bye, guys.